Okay, today I'm going to show you how I make my pesto recipe from scratch. Since I get a lot of basil from the garden, then it's way easy to do, and the most efficient way or cost-effective way is to get your other parts or pieces of it from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has got a great price on their virgin olive oil. It's a 1 quart, and I can usually get it for, under 10 bucks. So that's your main ingredient. And then also from Trader Joe's, walnut. I go with walnut pieces, or you can put half walnut, half pecan, instead of the pine nuts. Pine nuts are about 9 bucks a pound, or maybe even half a pound. They're really expensive. So I'll often go with the walnuts and pecans or sunflowers, something like that. Maybe a mix, something that's kind of dry. That, and then usually a good few cloves of garlic. And today I've got the regular, your fresh green basil, and I have some purple basil. It's a little more, bit of a little more of a zesty, spice, peppery flavor to it. But it's still regular basil, I'm going to mix a little bit together, and we'll go from there. We're going to mix it in the bullet. You can use either bullet or food processor, or small blender, something like that. So anyways, here we go, just a second. For me, I usually don't measure things in like a typical measuring cup or anything like that. I eye it out in proportions. So I'll use either 2 portions to this, or 1, or whatever. So I'm just gonna, for purpose of this, I'm just gonna show you, I guess, what 1 cup of basil looks like. So there's a little over a cup. It's kind of hard because it's leafy. So I'm gonna do 1 cup to start off with in here. Especially since the magic bullet here isn't as big as my blender. And then let's use the rest of these walnuts right here. Throw those in. I'm just going to eye it out. What I do is I eye out the consistency of it when it's kind of done. So I just kind of keep going with it and either thin it out or thicken it up with whichever it needs. So I'm going to take the garlic that I just chopped up, about 3 or 4 cloves, just kind of into bigger chunks like that so that it can hit the bullet easier, and put them in there. And then we're going to add the olive oil on top. Now let's watch. Let's see, just maybe okay, so can you see it on here? So it's about halfway through there, and it took all the leaves down quite a bit. So maybe I can throw a little more on top of it here, like that. And let's try that out in the mixer. Let's do that. And let's go to town on this. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. Looks pretty thick actually right now. Yeah, it's pretty thick. Real thick, so let's add some more oil to it. And actually, it's real green, so we didn't get much of the walnut flavor in there. Nut. And let's do this. Let's add in just a little handful of raw sunflower seeds right there. Might as well get nutty about it. And put this back together. And then let's try and chop again. And there's Ian didn't like the blender going on. Okay, so what it did is it is quite chunky still with the garlic and the nuts in there. And see, it doesn't really run off the knife that well. So we're going to add a little more olive oil in here. And do that. Do that. Throw it back on here. Okay, let's check this out. Now that's looking a lot better. See, there we go. And see, what we're going to do anyways with this is I'm going to store this. It's the best way to do pesto is store it in the freezer. What we're going to do is pour it into a typical ice tray like this. You fill all that up, let it freeze. I usually do at least two trays. Fill it up, let it freeze, and then when it's nice and solid, crack them out, put each cube, put it all into a big Ziploc, like a gallon size bag. Let them freeze and they store that way, and then you could just take out as many as you need. Instead of having them in here or anything like that, the bag is a lot easier to take them out of. And then you just put them in the skillet or saute pan, and they melt right away. So you can either use one cube or whatever, depending on your recipe. So anyways, that's about it right there with the pesto. And also next batch I'm going to make is a mix with the purple, and try that out. Actually, you can add a little jalapeno in there too if you want a little spicy pesto. So have fun with it, and that's about it from Ziggy's Bistro. That's my pesto sauce. Talk to you later. Peace.